Hey guys, I'm Phil, and I'm excited to have you join me on this little cloudy Colorado afternoon to talk about an enabler, a really cool little electric bike, the Tuttio, that we have taken all over the country, and I want to tell you about it. You see, this isn't just a toy. It is an e-bike, so it's going to go on the e-playlist or e-transport playlist on the channel, but it is more than just that. It is the ultimate camp/rally scooter. If you've been following the channel, you know that Mary and I travel the country filming at motorcycle rallies, riding motorcycles, and chasing our own ride. But every time we pull into a rally or camp, we need something quick, fun, and dead simple to get around with. This year, we brought something different, an electric pit bike that runs on battery. Whether it's buzzing down to the camp or buzzing over the porta potties, this little thing has been more than fantastic. You're not going to hear me break down how the suspension feels, rebound and compression, or do the brakes or the front end dive under heavy braking, right? That's not what this is about. Look, I'm a 225-ish pound guy, and the way I use this machine, and Mary too, is the way you might think. For scooting around at rallies, campsites, and events. I'm reviewing this from that lens, a real-world usability, not theoretical performance basis. In this review, you're going to get a quick breakdown of the specs, a hands-on look at how we actually used it at real events and rallies, a category-based review focused on what matters for riders, and finally, who this bike is perfect for and who it isn't. So let's go through the specs in a brief overview. Here's what you're getting: a 2,000 watt motor, 200 newton meters of torque, top speed of 37 miles per hour, a 21 amp hour lithium battery with a max range of 43 miles. It has a 265 pound maximum load. It is equipped with an independent suspension and a high stiffness air spring shock absorber, making it resilient to bumps and providing a thrilling shock absorbing experience. So I will say we did test the load capacity and we put way more than 265 pounds or whatever it was on this bike. I'd say upwards of almost 400 pounds and it still did the job. So having used this in Moab, Utah, and also the Alvord Desert in Oregon, southeastern Oregon, I want to give you the sort of mini real-world review on this bike through these categories: ease of transport, battery life, ease of use, fun factor, build quality, and user interface. And then I'll give you a final score. All right, so ease of transport. I will say this is easier to get around than a full-size e-bicycle, if you believe it or not. We hauled it in the back of the truck next to two full-size dirt bikes on one trip. It wasn't tough to wrestle, it's light enough to lift by hand. We've also tossed it into our toy hauler for another rally and still had plenty of space. It's very manageable, even solo, and doesn't need a dedicated rack or trailer. For people constantly loading and unloading at campgrounds or events, that truly matters. In short, this little pit bike is super easy to transport, and guess what? You don't need a can of gasoline to go with it. And for that reason, in this first category, 5 out of 5 stars. All right, this next category is one everybody worries about when it comes to e-transport and its range and or battery life. I gotta tell you right off the bat, this thing has a great battery. We've used this for multiple days in Moab, from camping to the event area and back, hauling gear, hauling dogs, and that never came close to draining the battery. I'm not even sure why I bothered to bring the charger. It's like you can't kill this little bike. When we were in Oregon, we used it over 5 days, didn't charge it once. We were riding to and fro and buzzing around in the playa, big open spaces, and had friends even borrow it with no real impact to the battery. I never once got range anxiety. For light duty use like this, it feels like they overbuilt the battery, and I mean that in a good way. So, you might have guessed it, for the battery, 5 out of 5 stars. So I like things that just simply work, and we're gonna get into that, but the next category is ease of use. This bike exemplifies what I want in a machine. You simply turn it on and it works. No apps, no pairing, no setup. You turn the key, the screen lights up, twist the grip, and you're moving. Mary hopped on and rode it without instructions, without issue. Heck, my 70-year-old dad even rode it around in the driveway and up the road a little bit with a huge smile on his face, which was an absolute treat for me to see. It was super easy and super fun for him to just buzz around a little bit. That's the kind of zero fuss usability I like, and I'm sure that you appreciate as well. So for all those reasons, the Tuttio gets a 5 out of 5 stars for ease of use. All right, cut real quick, guys. I totally forgot I filmed another video about this in Moab, so we're gonna insert that right now, and then we'll come back to the actual review. What's up, guys? We are still at the rally, and I always like to add some context videos being at the location we're at, using the thing we're using, and in this case, it's the Dusty Lizard in Moab, Utah. It's an awesome dirt bike, sort of dirt-oriented motorcycle rally. And we've been using this Tuttio pit bike just as an amazing, amazing tool at this rally. We're camped up top here, and by up top, I mean there are several tiers, and we're camped up top, and we've been using this bike to run down to the other place where they have the food and the gatherings, and we've been shuttling back and forth with the dogs. Other than that, this thing has just been a super amazing, and by that, I can't overstate that enough, amazing enabler, right? We've got all kind of terrain here, and for running up and down and shuttling around camp. And as a matter of fact, when we do park it down where the gatherings are, people tend to gather around it, and then they ask to take rides, and it's just a very popular little machine. I don't want to ramble on too much because I know I got the full video going, but I could just say from Moab, Utah, before we load this up and take it back home, I can't say enough good things about how amazing this little bike has been for us at this event. All right, let's get back to it. All right, the next category is really cool, and it's fun factor. So it does look like a little dirt bike, and it gets a lot of attention. Everywhere we go, people are like, oh, what do you got there? So let's talk about fun factor. Whether I'm hauling a cart of dogs with Mary on the back, and no, this really did happen in Moab, or cruising around the camp, or just on the playa out in Oregon through wide open spaces, it makes so many moments just super enjoyable. It's not performance focused, but it absolutely nails the joy factor. And I gotta tell you, as I mentioned before, if you need to just jump on and just buzz down and get a drink or hit the porta potties, super convenient. And so once again, for that reason, it's gonna go ahead and get a 5 out of 5 stars. All right, for the next category, let's talk build quality / user interface. The little display that turns on when you turn the key is pretty clear, even in full sun. The buttons and control layout right here are really easy. There's 3 modes, like slow, medium, and as fast as it'll go. And it's just a simple turn of the key and then turn it on with a little beep there. So user interface with the brakes and the controls, super simple. I like it. But you're not getting like boutique level fit and finish when it comes to the bike itself. But heck, for the price, not too bad. I mean, during assembly, you could tell that some of these components like aren't exactly titanium and carbon fiber, right? But you know, if you look at it, the welds are pretty good, and I haven't had any bolts rattle out while I've been riding it, right? And for those reasons, and because of the price point, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 4 out of 5 stars for build quality and user interface. All right, so let's talk about what this bike is not. It looks like a mini dirt bike, but let's face it, it's not. I took it out off the playa there in Oregon into some of the sand and shrubbery, underbrush, whatever you wanna call it, and it struggled, right? But it's not for that. It's built for pavement, hard pack, smooth trails, busting little wheelies around town. I see a lot of guys doing that in videos. That's what this bike is for. Okay, so who is this bike for? That's the next question. If you're heading to motorcycle rallies, camping events, or just need something to run around a large property, this bike hits the sweet spot. It's not meant to be gnarly, it's meant to be practical, fun, quiet, and easy to live with. I even met a guy at the Dusty Lizard in Moab who was like, I could totally use this on my ranch to like herd cattle or something. So I'm like, I bet you could. So all in all, the Tuttio scored really well in almost every category, giving us a final score of 4.8 stars. 4.8 stars for this amazing little pit bike. So here's the deal. I really enjoy doing these reviews. I have another e-bike I'm looking at up the driveway, these e-transport things, because we use them. I don't just get sent a bike, ride it around for a day like this. I've had this for months and taken it all over the country and just used the heck out of it. That's where these reviews come from, a place of like genuine interest in trying to get these done. So if you really like what you see, here's the thing, please hit that like and subscribe button, leave a comment below, ask me some questions, I'll do my best to answer them for you. In addition to these videos, I've actually got a KTM 890R sitting in the garage there that I can't wait to make another video about. Don't worry, I haven't forgot about motorcycle videos. Those are also coming up. So there you have it. Thanks for watching, everybody. I've really enjoyed this bike. I'll link down to all the information below so you can learn more about it. Please hit that subscribe once again, and we'll see you on the next one.